All right. So I'm Dr. Kathy, for those of you who don't know me, and I am absolutely delighted to be here with you. And with us also is Fatima. Fatima, if you will unmute yourself and speak, your face may just show. There we go. So that's Fatima. If you don't see her, well, she's just absolutely delightful. So I'm not sure how all this works. Let me give you an idea of what's going on so you can just know what's going to happen. Amma is going to talk about alternative methods of healing. And she's also going to talk about essential oils because that's what I asked her to talk about, but it's going to be in the context of alternative healing and vibration. That part I already know. And of course, those of you who have been when she's channeled, you never know exactly what she's going to come out with. And then after she talks, I'll say a few words and I'll introduce Fatima, and she's going to talk about some of the science behind essential oils. And then I'm going to talk a little bit and see, for those of you who would be interested in purchasing essential oils or using that as your business, I'll tell you about the program that I'm in. I just want you to know that Amma will not tell you which is the best essential oils. You have to do that yourself. She doesn't really care about marketing and branding. So she's going to give you this information and tell you the importance of alternative medicine, of which essential oils is a part of. And I'm going to just be right out here right now with where I am on this. My father is a physician. He just turned 89 years old. And he was either going to school, he went back to school for medicine when his 5th child was born. And he went back to pre-med, and so I followed him, pre-med, medical school, internship, residency, and he was 16 when I started practicing medicine. Except for one experience with vertigo in which he came and gave me some stuff to kind of calm everything down, take care of the symptoms. I haven't been to a doctor in 20 years. I use acupuncture, herbs, homeopathy, supplements, energy healing. Those are my healthcare practices of choice. Now, if I was in an automobile accident, you can bet anybody used to watch Laugh-In? A lot of y'all may not have known that, but they go, bet your sweet bippy. I will go to the nearest emergency room and get my arm set or my leg set or something like that. So I have used very successfully alternative medicine for my health and my well-being. And you get to choose exactly what it is that you want to do. That's all within yourself. Now, I'm asking Amma right now if I can talk about this or she can talk about it. She says I can go ahead. Is that Amma has spoken in the past when she's done predictions for Sedona Journal, has a predictions issue every year. And the last few years, she has spoken about how the allopathic, which is the traditional healthcare with your MDs and your RNs and all that, how that is really getting ready to blow up. And part of it is because of and crumble. And part of that is because of the insurance industry and the pharmaceutical industry. When you get something that goes into profit rather than healing, then it changes the whole complexion, right? So she's been predicting this for a while. And we have to have something available for ourselves to be able to take care of ourselves. And so that's where all of this other stuff comes in. She says, now I've talked long enough. And she's going to come in. And what I'd like you to do is, those of you who are familiar with the heart source, just say heart source. Those of you who are not, you're going to go into your heart center, right in the center of your chest, move into the front as deep as you can. Take some deep breaths. And now move into the back of your heart center. It's the opposite of the front. Now to the front of your third eye, right there. And into the back of your third eye. Now imagine a beam of energy going from your heart to your third eye. Send it straight up to the center of the universe. Don't worry where that is. And now straight down into the center of the earth. And this is your heart center. Thank you. And I would appreciate it if you would just keep me in mind and send a beam of energy from your heart to mine. Ooh, thank you. And then I will now bring in Amma. So the next one you hear will be Amma. For those of you who've never heard me channel, my voice doesn't change a whole lot. People tell me that my face changes some, but my voice doesn't change a whole lot. So here we go. Well, good evening, dear ones. What a wonderful gathering with all of you here. So this one I speak through. Now you might notice I always call her this one I speak through because I call her by another name. It is her soul name. And I actually call each one of you by your soul name. Let me introduce myself. I am Amma, the Divine Mother of the Divine Mothers, and oh, my dear ones, I am your mother. You grew in my womb, and you continue to reside in my womb, where I keep you closely to my heart, closely to my heart. I am so glad to be able to share this time with you. So this one I speak through, and I got distracted there for a moment, is to tell you why I call her this one I speak through, is because her name, the name that I call her, and this is the same for you, is you cannot speak that name, because when you were back home, when we call out to you, even you to each other, it is a combination of sound, musical notes, and color, all wrapped in together. So imagine the aurora borealis, the northern lights. Imagine that with the most beautiful music woven within it, and that it changes with each person. So that's why I call her this one that I speak through. And if I was speaking through you, I would call you the same thing. So now, this one I speak through has asked me to please talk about what is called alternative healing. And I'm delighted to do that. Now, people have the mistaken idea that alternative healing is the alternative. That's what it says, is it not? Other people call it complementary. They think because it is something new. Well, dear ones, this that I'm going to be talking about is not new. The doctors that you go to, the medical doctors, they're the ones that are new. That is the healing that is new. Energy healing, healing with herbs. That, my dear ones, has been around for thousands of years. Those of you who have your higher senses honed well, you see behind this one, she has plants that are there. Some of you can tune into the plants and talk to them and hear what they want for themselves, like water, for instance, or fertilizer. Or, my dear ones, they can tell you what they can give to you. Now, I know that you're well aware of herbs. How did people know what herbs went with what imbalances in the body? In other words, what went with what illnesses or dis-ease? How did they know that? Well, they sat in front of the plant and talked to it and connected to it from their heart to the heart of the plant, to the consciousness of the plant, and asked, what of yours do I have that would help me? And that has happened over thousands of years. And then people came to know what it was that could help a rash, a pain, a headache, childbirth, a broken arm, things that they called wasting diseases, which of course has other names for it now, whether it's tuberculosis or a cancer. So they were able to communicate with the plants, and you can also. The importance of alternative healing is that it works with your vibration. Now, many of you are very interested in this thing that is called ascension, correct? The spiritual growth in which your vibration rises to a certain level in which you are no longer in the third dimension, and you move upwards. There are those who have ascended and who can lower their vibration to become physical again. And then they raise their vibration and go and visit all of their family and their friends that are on the other side. You also will be able to do that. That is coming. In this physical body that you have right now, in this vibration, certain things change your vibration. What is the number one thing that changes your vibration? Bring an answer to yourself. It is your thoughts. Oh, I should say two things, right? Your thoughts and your feelings. They change your vibration. Now this body that you're in, I want you to touch it, just like this one is touching it. Touch your body. Touch yourself on the shoulders and your hands and your arm. And hold your own hand and greet it and say hello. Can you feel it responding to you? Can you feel the energy of your body changing, and actually the parts of your body becoming more excited because you are speaking to it, communicating to it? Now I want you to think of a plant in the ground, not one that is cut. It could be in a pot plant like these that are around here, but something that is still gathering nourishment and living and growing. Now think of it, and I want you to send your consciousness to it. Feel it respond to you. Now it can be very subtle. For those of you who have done a lot of this work, it can be very definitely speaking to you, but it can be very subtle. You can gain an increase in your frequency and your vibration because you go into your heart, calm your mind, and communicate with that plant. When you are out in nature, when you are hiking, when you are walking, when you are enjoying the beauty of the plants, of the sky, of the moon, of the sun, your body absorbs the frequency of nature, which is there. It communicates, which is there. Why do you think that people want parks? Think of New York City and what they call Central Park, this huge park that is in the middle of the city. Houston has Herman Park, this little place where this one is right now. She's in Boerne, Texas. They have green space all over because it is still out in the country. When you are in those situations, in the midst of that which is growing, my precious ones, your physical body responds in a positive way and raises its vibration, and you begin to feel better. Your feelings are better. They're of a higher elevation. Your thoughts are better. You put away the cares of the day. What happens when your body gets out of balance? When your thoughts are not clear, when you absorb the negativity that is in this world? How do you get back in balance? One is to go out in nature. What if you have a fever and you're not able to get back in balance? There is things that you need to do for your body, not just to your body, which will raise the vibration of your body. So you can take certain herbs. You can take certain, what do they call them, homeopaths. You can go to someone who has studied Chinese medicine and have your meridians balanced. There are all of these things you can do without putting dangerous substances in your body. You do not need to take poisons in order to survive. You do not need to take poisons in order to heal yourself of even some of the most difficult illnesses that you may have. That may sound strange. This one, she's remembering what has happened twice in the last year. She has gotten what she believes is strep throat. She couldn't get into the doctor because she had had it very often when she was a child, and she knew how drastic it was, and she was running a high fever. And when she couldn't get into a doctor, it's hard to get into a doctor in Sedona, especially if you forgot your credit card. And she instead took homeopathy, increased her vitamin D supplementation, and used essential oils, and took a lot of electrolytes and vitamin C, and went to bed. And the fever broke, and she got better, and she could see the little, I don't mean to upset anyone, but the pus pockets in the back of her throat, and she was able to balance her body without using antibiotics. Now, when I say without using antibiotics, I am not denigrating antibiotics, because there are times you need such substances. They are lifesavers. However, if you spend time keeping your body in balance, you will not need those other substances. When you take something like an antibiotic, it not only will wipe out the bacteria that is causing the problem, but it will also wipe out the friendlies, those that are within your stomach. So if you take those antibiotics, you will need to follow them up with probiotics, not just the yogurt, but really heavy-duty doses of probiotics to bring your digestion back into balance. Now, what is the best way to prevent being out of balance? What is the most effective method of healing? It is prevention. It's to not need healing, correct, my precious ones? So think about your life right now. What did you have for dinner, or what are you getting ready to have for dinner? Was it all of nourishment to your body? Did your body feel good after you had it? Do you feel more alive? So the number one way to take care of your body, and people actually consider this alternative healing, is nutrition. It is what you eat, what you put into your body. The next thing that is so very, very important is what you put in your eyes and in your ears, through what you see and what you hear. I was having a little discussion with this one today because she's been listening to a political channel, and she would find herself getting upset. So I'm going to tell you what I tell many people and what she has actually told people. If anything absolutely drastic happens in the world that you need to know, someone is going to tell you. So you can wait to discover and find out what that is. You do not need to be listening to all of these things which are happening. And most of what it is not within truth at any rate, correct? What kinds of things do you read and do you watch on television and in your movies? What kind of music do you listen to? Do you spend time every day, it can be just for 3 minutes, either meditating or gently breathing, going in your heart, inhaling. Let's do that for a moment, shall we? Let us do that. I will do it through this one and using her body for that. Focus on your heart. Just bring your hands to the center of your chest and hold it there and focus on your heart. Now take a deep breath. I'm going to count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's add something. This one I knew didn't know I was speaking through, didn't know I was going to do this. So we're going to add something. What color would you say is my love? I'm going to surround you with that color right now. Now as you inhale, inhale the color that you see as my love. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the color of my love in your body. 1, 2, 3, 4. And gently breathe out that which is not love from your body. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice what you feel. Notice how your body is more in balance. My dear ones, when your body is in balance, it can heal itself. When you breathe deeply, inhale and exhale, your consciousness, your body soul, is scanning your body and bringing things into balance. Now let's talk about plants and herbs. Many of you, if not all of you, are familiar with the burning times and have had lifetimes in the burning times in which you used herbs medicinally. And it scared people and it frightened people. And they, especially in the Christian tradition, believed that it was not of God. I wonder who gave those herbs, correct? Why would a loving God give you something that would, according to them, damn you for the rest of your life in one lifetime, correct? No, loving God would do that. You have around you everything that you need. And so with the herbs, and you learn what it is that you can take from the herb, whether it is to make a tea, go cut a few leaves and put them in boiling water and take a tea. And you may notice, oh, look, chamomile slows me down. It keeps me calm. Peppermint, oh, that helps my tummy when I decide to eat a little bit too much. Oh, look, my heart seems to calm down when I use some foxglove. So that's what, when they learn to do that. Now that's the herb, but when you need even more, what you do is you distill, or you take the juice, the life force out of the herb, and you bring it into a concentration. And that's what essential oils are. So that is what I want you to know, is that they raise your vibration. Now, if you combine something like herbs and herbal tea and use it consciously, my dear ones, and you use the tinctures, the essential oil, for instance, the distillation and the concentration of the lifeblood of the plant to assist you also in staying in balance, and you combine that with your good nutrition, with some breathing or meditation, and add in a little energy healing, what happens, my precious ones, is that your body stays in balance. Now, When your body is in balance, you do not need to take drastic methods to bring your body back in balance, because those drastic methods may kill certain substances within you, certain bacteria, viruses, or fungus within you, yet it puts other parts of you out of balance. So what you wish to do is to be able to bring in that which brings you into balance, which has to do with your frequency. Did you know that your scientists can measure the frequency of your organs? And they can tell when your organ is out of a particular frequency that that organ is ill. It is not doing well. If frequency is what it is that keeps your body in balance, if it is how you know whether your body is ill or not ill, then all you need to do is to change your frequency. Now think about energy healing. We have wonderful energy healers here on this call. Think about energy healing, my precious ones. Those of you who are energy healers know that illness or dis-ease begins in your energy field, in the aura. Some people are able, those who are astute healers, who are accomplished healers, are able to feel the disease in the energy field before it manifests within the body. And if you release that dis-ease from the energy field, it does not manifest in the body. So let's take something called cancer. This one likes to call it an overgrowth of cells. That's when your cells start growing in ways that are not healthy for it. Now, first of all, know that when you have a healthy immune system, your immune system will eliminate those cells. And in fact, and your science is proving it, even your allopathic science, they have found that if your medical community would just allow what they find is a few cells of cancer and give the body support to fight off that, they do not need to have things like chemotherapy or radiation or surgery. There are other ways to stay in balance other than to poison, to burn, and to cut. So that's what alternative healing does, is it keeps your body in balance and brings your body in balance so that you do not have to recover from the healing process. So what I want to share with you, I'm going to give you a very simple formula for staying healthy. Are you ready? You already know this, by the way, so I'm going to say it anyway. Number one, eat nutritious food. Eat what they call non-processed food. Cook it yourself. Buy it at the store. Wash it well, even organic. Wash it well and say a prayer of blessing over it. And ask that that food, every cell in it, every molecule in it, first release anything within it, any energy within it that is not needed, that is not needed for your body, is not needed for life, and does not belong with that particular food. So if you are eating your spinach, wash it, bless it, thank everyone for bringing that food to the table. Bless everyone who brought that food to the table. And ask your spinach to release from it any emotions or feelings that are of a lower vibration, which are interfering with the food. And when you are blessing that food, dear ones, tell your body the food is coming. Say, oh, this is coming. Accept the nutrition and release everything you do not need. Now, those of you who choose to eat flesh, there is something very important you need to do. You ask in your prayer that all fear, all anguish, all anger, all despair, be totally removed from that which you are going to eat. That is very important because you do not want to eat the energy of fear, despair, or anguish. Remember that. It's very important. Do the same for blessing your water. Because you get it out of pipes, correct? And even if you get it in a bottle, it is not of the free molecular structure that is pure water. And ask that it be returned to the molecular structure and the molecular spin that is needed for it to be healthy water. And tell your body the water is coming and invite your cells to absorb the water. Because that's where it goes, correct, to the cells, to absorb your water. So that is the number one thing you need to do. If you do that, you will have very good health. Then if you add managing your thoughts and your feelings, when you are struggling with anxiety because you go, how am I going to pay this bill? I want you to immediately see that bill with a paid in full sign on it and give thanks that that bill is paid so that you can change where you are going. Because, my dear ones, in the now, in this very, very moment that you are listening to me or watching me, is there anything wrong? In this instant, is there anything wrong? Your anxiety is about that which has not happened, that which could happen. Your guilt and shame is about that which has happened but is not happening now. Your grief is about the loss of what you once had but do not have now. When you are in the now, in this very instant, then you are in the perfect place. If you have spoken to people who thought that they were going to die, say there was a car coming at them, you will find that most of them will tell you that they had no fear because they were totally in the now. After it happened, if they're telling you it wasn't after, correct? After it happened, they may have the fear. They may shake because they realize what could have happened. They realize what might have been. But in the now, that is why live in the now as much as you can and take those minutes every day. But you do not live in a vacuum, do you? You do not live in a stress-free environment. So this is where you use things to assist yourself in staying in balance. So you have nutrition, and how many of you do not? Let's just say this one that I spoke through. She stopped off at a place and she had one of her favorite things with some good eggs and some, well, I guess the eggs were probably the best thing for her, but she did decide to have a biscuit and put it in some cream gravy. And she did decide to have, it was a buffet. Well, the only thing that was really healthy for her and for her body were the eggs that she ate, even though she does pray and bless over the food and ask that it arrange itself to be as most nutritious as possible. And drinking clear fluids, water, that is the best thing. But everybody fudges, do they not? And then you are in the midst of stress. This is where you need things to assist your body into staying in balance. That is where energy healing comes in. That is where meditation comes in. So if you go to an energy healer, and this one I speak through goes to energy healers, she sees someone who does acupuncture, she sees other people who do body work, she sees other people who do energy healing, and they help to bring that energy field, her body, mind, and spirit field into balance and release the energy of anxiety. Homeopathy is another wonderful thing when you are not feeling well. And those of you who know how to douse or to pendle, you can, if you have a collection of homeopathic remedies in front of you, you can douse or pendle exactly what you need for that day to bring your body into balance or to keep it in balance. The same is true of essential oils, which work on a frequency. The lifeblood of the plant is what I will call them. If you have that as your, do we want to say preventative? How about if we say your partner? Your partner in being able to work to keep your body in balance, my dear ones. You can pendle, you can douse and say, which one does my body need the most now? And then you can prevent your body from being so far out of balance, it has difficulty healing itself. Now I will say, dear ones, and this one I speak through mentioned it, is that those of you who are in the United States know the turmoil the healthcare industry is in. Many of you in the United States know that it is much less expensive to get the pharmaceuticals you need in Canada online. Many of you know that there is this new herb that was always denigrated so much before that is being found to have tremendous medicinal properties. I believe you call it cannabis. And you can only get that in a few of your states. Do what you can to prevent having to go to a system which is broken. It is not your doctor's fault that your doctor does not understand the power of nutrition, the power of energy healing, the power of herbs, the power of homeopathy, the power of essential oils. They were not trained in that way. Because you see, those things that I spoke to you, which are considered alternative, they are the things that work on the system of your body. Your medical community is only trained to work on parts without knowing the effect that one substance, one surgery, one treatment has on the rest of the body. So when you give someone a medication for high blood pressure, it affects negatively other aspects of the physical body. Your traditional medicine, what they will usually do is treat the symptom. You want, with your alternative-based healing, you want to go in and address the cause of the problem. When you use certain things, whether it is energy healing, it's acupuncture, herbs, homeopathy, essential oils, you may not know what the actual cause is, and there is no need to. You only know what it is that your body is asking for. It is asking for a vibration. It is asking for a frequency, and it is saying, I need this particular vibration. So since this one has asked me to talk about essential oils, those of you who already have some essential oils, I want you to try something. I want you, and of course, unless you have them with you right now. So here's a little exercise for those of you. You can listen to this again or jot it down on a piece of paper. I want you to take a bottle of the essential oil and I want you to smell it. And if you can see the color, it depends. Most essential oils are in a brown bottle, so they are not affected negatively by light. But just smell it and then hold the bottle in your hands and send it energy from your heart. And here's a little thing to ask it. Ask that it match the vibration that you most need of it. Now, after you do that, smell it again and notice how the aroma is different. This one has done this with probably some people on this call and showed them. And for some of the oils, the aroma was lighter. For others, it was richer and deeper, depending upon the oil. When you are using essential oils, do it consciously. Do it with consciousness. Communicate with that oil. Tell your body that it is coming and allow it to absorb into you. Those of you who are mothers and who have had infants, some of you have nursed, some of you have held them as you have given them a bottle. Are you aware, and I know you are, of the difference between focusing on the nursing or the being bottle-fed infant with great love and other times when you are distracted and are simply just feeding? So when you are feeding the substance, like the milk, and you are communicating with that infant, you are also feeding your infant with your vibration, with your love. When you are distracted because the other child has come in and wants this, or somebody else is coming in and wants that, you are giving the substance of the food to your child, but you are not feeding them with your love because your consciousness is not there. When you are applying essential oils, whether you are smelling it or rubbing it on your body in certain places, do so with consciousness and gratitude. Do that with consciousness and gratitude. And notice which oils work best with your body. So this one I speak through uses a particular blend which helps her to focus and to stay away from the squirrels, as she says, that come running through her mind and her heart at occasions. So she uses that, and she has the intention as she uses it that it will assist her in focusing. And it is a blend that is put together by those who have worked with that. There are blends, and it does not matter which essential oil company you use. They often have similar blends, like for forgiveness and for compassion. Others that you may know, it is a blend that not a blend, but an oil such as frankincense or lavender that are used that can bring the body into balance. It's like there are certain oils you can choose. You don't know which one to use, so you choose, well, I'm going to use frankincense or I'm going to use lavender. And it assists to bring the body in. Now remember, your body is a system. And there are wonderful places to bring oils for that system. Now, those of you who know nothing about essential oils, you will learn, if you decide to learn, is that there are some oils that you should never use by itself without diluting it with an oil, because it could sting your body. But so let's say you have it in exactly where you want. Where are some of the best places to put it? Well, one is to smell it, just to rub your hands and to smell, because it goes into the olfactory system and that penetrates directly into the brain. Another place is, did you know that your ear has all of the parts of your body within it in regards to acupuncture? And did you know the bottom of your feet have the same things? And did you know that your hands are similarly set? So it has been made, you have been created in that way that there are places that you can put the oils that will assist you. And let's say you need an oil for detoxing in some way, and it could be detoxing from emotions. It could be detoxing from, what's that horrible one called, sugar. And you can place it over your pancreas. You can place it over your liver and communicate with the oil, your body, and the organ that you are giving support to, so that it works together and melds together, so that the vibrations come together, the frequencies come together, and they rise together, and you can be in balance. Now this one has asked me, because she's learning more and more about essential oils, she has asked me if I will speak more about particular oils at different times, and I would be glad to do that if you wish that to happen. So I will let you know that. I ask you to use your own inner knowing about whether or not to use an essential oil, a homeopath, a supplement, energy healing when you are feeling out of balance. Go deep within your heart and ask, what is it I need most? And I'm going to warn you that sometimes what you may need most is to go talk to that person that you are worried about or having trouble communicating with. Sometimes there are actions that you need to take rather than substances you need to apply. So, my dear ones, those are my words for tonight. I want you to know more than anything that spirit, we, the creative force in this universe, have given you what you need in this world of yours. Just look around this world of yours. Have given you what you need. Know that all forms of healing are needed at some point. There are times you need your medical doctors. Do not ignore them. Go into the deepness of your heart and ask, is this something where I need to take something? I will then have to take something else to become in balance. There are times you will need an antibiotic. There are times you will need an arm set. Do not deny any type of healing. Simply ask what you need at that time. Now, I did not even mention, but I will mention it now, that there are many of you here on these calls that use crystals to assist. So know that those are also parts of your world, of the oneness, that have consciousness that can assist you. There is so much here, dear ones. Enjoy it, discover it, and communicate with consciousness, my dear ones. So I bless you. I am Amma, the Divine Mother, and I am your mother. Okay, this is Kathy back, and I'll get to listen to that later to see everything that she actually said. I remember parts, but often I don't always know what it is that she has said. I hope that those were words that she gave you. I do remember, because she was talking to me about it, and she's talked to me a long time about, I really need to keep my diet clear. And that is important, because I know that when I eat processed foods, that what happens is that it affects my moods. And I've done enough studying on the physiology of the body to know that it affects the brain. And so there are things that we just need to do to assist us in keeping our vibration high. So I'm going to turn you over to Fatima. So Fatima, you need to unmute yourself and bring you back together. And Fatima's going to talk to you on the more scientific basis about essential oils. And I know there's some of you that came in specifically to hear about information with oils. And I know Fatima's going to talk about two in particular, right, Fatima?
Yep.
Okay, so to you, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself first, introduce yourself, and maybe how we connected.
Sure.
We've known each other for a little while.
Absolutely. Thanks. Kathy and I actually have known each other for about 20 years, and she's done multiple healings for my family. And in fact, Kathy Chapman, you have been there for us during some of our darkest times. And for that, I really thank you, and I thank you for this opportunity. And all the stuff that you just said, what Amma just said, is really profound, and I am so motivated to share this information with people, because it really can make a profound shift in their health and in their emotional levels of happiness. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
A little bit about me, just a little bit. I am a freelance writer by background and an interfaith community organizer. And I recently moved from Washington, D.C. to the Dallas area. I love natural medicine. My grandfather was a homeopathic doctor, and I have several people in my family who practiced and still continue to practice Ayurvedic medicine and are herbalists. Some years ago, when my children experienced some health problems, I went searching for answers, and essential oils became part of my toolbox. So since then, I've been teaching educational classes on therapeutic grade essential oils. So Amma said it best, essential oils are the lifeblood of the plants. Oils are nature's defense mechanism. Oils come from the entire plant, so the root, the stem, the tree, the leaves, everything. They are highly concentrated and 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. A little bit goes a long way. For example, 1 drop of the peppermint is equal to 28 cups of peppermint tea. It's intense. And 1 drop of lemon is equal to 5 lemons. And I mean the rind, the peels, the juice, the fruit, everything. I use the oils every day, and I want to give you a couple of examples of how I use them. And Amma actually talked about some of this already, but when I eat something I shouldn't have eaten, I'll rub a drop of basil right on top of my liver in order to detox. And actually, if I'm around a toxic person, sometimes I also use basil as well. I use clove and peppermint sometimes to ward off insects and ants in my house because, again, I don't want to be using those harsh chemicals that come in the insecticides. Sometimes I'll use a drop of wild orange on my toothbrush and brush my teeth. It helps oral health and maintain the whiteness of your teeth. But my most used oils is something called Balance. And I often take a time out during the day just to use this oil and to ground myself when I can't focus or when I feel like I've just absorbed too much electronic energy or too much negative energy. So throughout the day, sometimes I'll give myself little timeouts. And that's just a small way of showing you how I use those oils. The most important thing I really want to press here is that not all oils are created equally. And I'm very proud to be using doTerra oils. I researched them before using them because my little one had an immune disorder and I was not going to put something on him or in him that was impure. What I love about these oils is that the company sources its oils from all over the world, so each oil is derived from its indigenous environment. As a result, we get our oils from where the plant grows naturally. So lavender is indigenous to France. The biblical oil of frankincense is sourced from Oman and Somalia. Vetiver comes from Haiti. Ylang ylang comes from Madagascar. And I'll give you an example why I think this is so cool. 70% of the United States lemons are sourced from Florida, and they're cheap and they're pretty good. However, this company gets its lemons from a 4th-generation farmer in Italy who not only has the right soil and climate and rainfall to grow his lemons, but also has generations worth of wisdom in those farming techniques. So in other words, it's the soil, climate, everything else about the plant's natural habitat that makes it as medicinal as it is. And then when we ingest these oils, we get that superb nutrition and nourishment that Amma actually mentioned. This makes the oils resonate at a higher frequency and helps to keep our health in great condition. And the second reason that I really go with these oils is because they are CPTG. CPTG simply means Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. It means they have 0 fillers, synthetics, dyes, pesticides, contaminants, all that jazz that we're trying to stay away from. That's why when you get oils from the drugstore or the grocery store, They are simply not the same as these oils. So I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people have different oils in their bathroom cabinet, and I am talking about these particular therapeutic grade oils. So Kathy, if it's okay, I will dive into the main content of the webinar for me in terms of the uses of lavender and the uses of frankincense. Is that all right?
That sounds great.
Okay, great. So like Amma said, essential oils have been used for thousands of years to uplift moods, make sacred prayer spaces, meditation rooms, promote well-being. In fact, today, this ancient wisdom is coming back to us. And there are hundreds of studies being done that show how aromas actually impact our brain chemistry. And in fact, I really feel like my brain is on when my oils are on. And I feel an immediate connection. So I want to talk a little bit about lavender, which I'm sure many of you have used. Ancient texts tell us that lavender essential oil has been used for medicinal and religious purposes for almost like 2,500 years. The Egyptians used it for mummification and as a perfume. The Romans used it for bathing, cooking, and for scenting the air. And quite possibly the most famous usage of all, Mary Magdalene used it to anoint Jesus' feet with her hair in the Gospel of John in the New Testament. So I want to show you the lavender oil. See if you can see it all right. It's right here, lavender oil. So this is not just a perfume or a bath scent or an aroma. It is an essential oil. And so I want to explain what that means. I want to give you just a little bit of chemistry. Essential oils have hundreds of molecular compounds. In the case of lavender, there are over 200 known molecular compounds. That means that lavender has a myriad of healing properties. In fact, lavender is suggested to help many different problems, many of them not even related to each other. So, for example, lavender can help soothe the burn. It can help promote better sleep. It can help bee stings and bites and support other temporary skin irritations. And I actually put a drop of lavender in my mascara after I read a University of Maryland study that talked about promoting hair growth with lavender. So I thought that was really cool. Lavender oil is really good for tension headaches as well. In fact, I think the most effective natural treatment for head tension when it comes to essential oils is combining lavender essential oil with peppermint essential oil and rubbing these oils on the back of your neck or on your temples and simultaneously inhaling it at the same time. Typically, 2 drops is all you need of each oil in the palm of your hand and then rubbed into these areas. The dosages, again, are very small, 1 to 2 drops, because they're so potent and so strong. And finally, taking a healing bath by adding 15 drops of lavender essential oil and a cup of Epsom salts to the bathtub is another really nice way to improve your sleep and relax the body. And for anybody, by the way, who has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat box, and as soon as I get finished with my talk, I will be happy to answer your questions. I'm going to talk a little bit about frankincense. So here's frankincense, and in my home, this is the master and power healer. Some people believe that the fragrance of frankincense oil can increase your intuition and spiritual connection. And maybe it's because it has a long history of use in ceremonial practices all around the world, from some of the most renowned civilizations, from the ancient Egyptians to the Native Americans. It even made its way into the scriptures of the Bible as one of the sacred gifts given to baby Jesus. It's said that if you're not sure which oil to use frankincense. It is literally called the king of oils. It's great for supporting healthy cellular function. It's also great to relax and balance the mood. So a lot of people use it in their meditation spaces. It's got a very grounding aroma. And in fact, all of my yogi friends, they love to use frankincense in their spaces. Frankincense oil comes from the resin of the frankincense tree in Somalia and Oman. And I was so amazed to find out that there are thousands of documented studies on frankincense. I did not even know that. So it really is a very widespread use of the oil. I personally take a couple of drops of frankincense and I mix it with a little bit of olive oil or coconut oil, and I actually put it right into my armpits, and I use it as my deodorant. I don't want the aluminum or some of the other toxins that are in today's modern antiperspirants to get into my lymph tissue, and so I use frankincense, which is a great detoxifier. I also sometimes add the frankincense in my moisturizer. And my 12-year-old actually uses it right on his eczema, on his elbows. And why? Because frankincense is a very powerful anti-inflammatory. You know, when inhaled, it's been shown to reduce heart rate and high blood pressure. And we know that when you release your stress, your vibration is higher. And frankincense also helps to fight off microbes. And I wanted to give you a little recipe. Try mixing some lavender essential oil with some frankincense essential oil. And you can put it in a roller bottle, or you can just put it directly on your hands and put it on your skin first thing in the morning and right after you shower and perhaps right before bed. Hopefully you'll see an improvement in the way your complexion is and the way it looks, especially with age spots and sunspots. It's very helpful for that. So basically, there are 3 ways to use essential oils, and I'll go over them very briefly, because I think Amma touched on all of them. The first way is on your skin. When you apply your oils to areas of the body that need support, they are really quickly distributed throughout the body. And it's best to dilute the oils to avoid skin sensitivity, especially for children and for older people. But as Amma mentioned, the bottom of the feet are a great place to apply the oils, as it is the most porous section of the body. And reflexology uses acupuncture points, so as many of you know, applying the oils in the feet is like shooting energy out into different parts of the body. I sometimes like to put lavender and frankincense oil both in a little roller bottle with some fractionated coconut oil. And fractionated coconut oil is simply coconut oil that stays liquid at room temperature. And I like to rub it directly up and down my children's spines. I love the spinal delivery of oils. I think it's very effective and very powerful. And in fact, a lot of Reiki healers and massage therapists and chiropractors use the spinal delivery method and use frankincense and lavender and a bunch of healing oils, aroma, touch, balance when working with their clients. And I've heard from a lot of them that when they use these oils, they feel like lower vibration emotions such as sadness and grief are released easier and faster. And so that's incredible. The second way to use the oils is, of course, to inhale it, like Kathy showed us. Place a drop in the palm of your hands, cup your hands to your nose, and inhale. And wow, it is like just intense. You can also diffuse the oils. A diffuser is just a box with a fan. I'll show you mine. I always keep it here on my desk. It's just like a little box with a fan at the bottom. And the fine microparticles of the essential oil are broken up and misted into the air. And everyone who's in the room gets the benefits when the microparticles fall back onto your skin. Those of you who are moms, you may have put Vicks in the humidifier, so inhaling the oils via diffuser is really similar to that. And then third is internally, and this is where we have to be careful because not all oils are created alike. These are the only oils, because they are certified pure therapeutic grade, that I would trust to use internally. Every liter of oil is third-party tested for purity. And if it's safe for consumption, the bottle will clearly be labeled, approved for internal use. In fact, on the bottom of each of your bottles, you can note a number. and plug it into a website, and it will come up with the entire chemical profile of that oil. And to me, that transparency is really important. So for some of you, that might have been a really basic introduction to some of our favorite oils. If you have more questions, feel free to contact me. Kathy's got my contact. I have a Facebook page called Oils for the World, and feel free to pop on. And thank you, Kathy, for this opportunity to share my new weapon in my toolbox, which is I use it every day and my kids love it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And if you have any other questions, I will send you Fatima's email address so that you can chat with her and all of those wonderful kinds of things. I appreciate it. Many blessings to each one of you.